cold one, which I know it's December, but even for this time of year, this is a little bit ahead of schedule. So lake effect snow is ongoing across New York State, tons and tons of it. I mean, feet there. And at times, it actually has been bringing some snowflakes to our region because the wind carries it pretty far. So we saw some snowflakes, some flurries overnight, but today's going to be nice and dry. It's cold, though. I mean, look at the current temperatures down to the mid to the upper 20s. So when temperatures are that cold in the mid to the upper 20s, even a light wind can make it feel significantly colder. So feels like temperatures are in the teens out there right now. 10 a.m. 32 degrees, 3 o'clock 38, highs mid to the upper 30s for today. 8 o'clock down to only 27 degrees. We are going to be dry over the next couple days, watching our next chance for rain and snow Wednesday night into Thursday. More details on that coming up.
Breaking news. Kelly, I think they're trying to escape the cold.
I was going to say they're survivors, right? They just survived Thanksgiving. Now it looks like maybe he needs a little bit of help and he needs someone to talk to after it went through on Thanksgiving Day. But you're right. It is nice and dry out there, but it is going to be cold for today. So bundle up if you're headed to Foxborough for today. 11 a.m. only 33 degrees, 1 o'clock 36, 4 o'clock 33 degrees. And of course, as the game gets going, you're kind of sitting around, not moving a whole lot. It's going to feel pretty chilly. I know 30s may not sound that bad, but when you're sitting down and not moving for a couple hours, it can feel pretty chilly. Highs elsewhere today reaching the mid to the upper 30s, so colder than yesterday and pretty chilly. This is kind of where highs are going to be sticking actually over the next week or so. A couple clouds for today, slightly breezy, and that breeze at times may make it feel even colder than it actually is. But look at the temperatures as we get to tonight. This means if you're awake early tomorrow morning, when you're heading to work tomorrow morning, there may be a little bit of a shock to the system. Lows are going to get down to the upper teens and low 20s, not quite that cold on the Cape, but still, that's a chilly morning no matter what way you look at it. And then, as I mentioned, highs really settling in to the mid to the upper 30s over the next couple days. Tomorrow's going to be bright, and that is chilly. In fact, that's about 10 degrees colder than average. And if we jump ahead a week, this is the temperature outlook, basically looking at the temperature trends for a period. This period is December 6th through the 10th. And look, we're looking at very, very likely below average temperatures, not just in Massachusetts, but all across New England, which is a stark difference compared to the very mild fall that we had, right? We've been recently on the warm side of things, but really going into the opposite direction here. So a couple clouds at times this morning. Later today, brightening up, especially farther to the southeast. Some of you may stick with the cloudiness as we go throughout the day. Overnight, we clear out. That aids in the cool down even more. And then tomorrow's going to be a nice bright day. And as we jump to Tuesday, it's going to be a nice bright day too. So a lot of sunshine over the next couple days, even though it's going to be cold. Here we go with the chance for some snow. I have to say, farther to the southeast you are, it's now looking more like rain or a mix. So here we are, Wednesday night, snow for a lot of us, rain and snow across southeastern Massachusetts. Thursday morning, a mix for some of us, far to the southeast rain, north and west you have the snow. That's going to linger for a lot of Thursday, and then we start to dry out Thursday night. Way too early to talk about actual snowfall amounts. I just want you to be aware of this chance that we're looking at. A little bit breezy this afternoon. Next significant wind does not come until Thursday night until we get to Friday. And Friday's going to feel brutal with a wind like that because of how cold Friday's going to be. Mostly highs in the mid to the upper 30s. There's the evening rain and snow Wednesday into Thursday. But look at Friday's highs, 33 degrees, a low of 18. That breeze is going to make it feel like it's in the 20s during the warmest part of the day on Friday. Saturday is going to be partly sunny, and you're not even making it above the freezing mark on Saturday. Looking around for the next week or so, I mean, some days even colder than today, but it's chilly out there. Look, we have clear skies to start. That really helps the temperature drop down even more. Clouds at nighttime kind of act like a blanket, and it stops the temperature from dropping even more, but not the case. But these are the actual temperatures out there. So actual temperatures are in the 20s, which is pretty chilly, but even with a light wind in spots, 13-mile-an-hour sustained wind, that's actually pretty good in Boston. Same with Worcester, but light wind elsewhere. Look at the feels like temperature. Feels like 11 degrees right now in Worcester. It feels like 19 in Boston. So prepare for chilly temperatures for today. 10 a.m. 32, 3 o'clock 38 degrees. 8 o'clock down to 27 degrees. Again, not the warmest day. In fact, the cold air we have in place for this week is actually going to support chances for snow for some of us. It looks like if you're farther to the southeast, closer to the Cape, it may be mainly rain. Not for a couple days. That's going to be Wednesday night into the day on Thursday. We have a chance for an Alberta Clipper, which is a low pressure system that comes from over Canada. More details on that coming up.
And we're following breaking jacket.
Yes, especially if you're headed to Foxborough, for example, for the Pats game. It's going to be a cold one. I mean, if you're going earlier in the day to do some tailgating, temperatures are going to be in the low 30s, but that'll feel like the upper 20s with a little bit of a breeze. And then as we get to 1 o'clock, 36 and 4 o'clock, 33 degrees, especially as you get settled into the game, you're sitting down at the stadium, not moving around a whole lot. That's going to feel pretty cold. So highs elsewhere mid to the upper 30s for today, which is colder than yesterday. Again, a little bit breezy is probably going to make it feel like the low 30s during the warmest part of the day. So you will need to dress pretty warmly. And overnight lows, look at this, down to the upper teens and low 20s. Not quite as cold at the Cape, but still, that's a cold start to your day. A lot of us have been off the last week. So if you're going to work tomorrow morning, I don't want you to be shocked when you open the door. You're probably going to be a little bit surprised, but I don't want you to be surprised because I'm warning you, you're going to want to bundle up as you head to work tomorrow. And then highs for tomorrow still going to be in the mid to the upper 30s. Not quite as windy, so it'll probably feel a little bit warmer. But even looking long term, the cold is here to stay. This is from the Climate Prediction Center. It basically looks at the temperature trend for a time period. This is basically looking at the second week of December. And you can see we are looking at very likely below average temperatures, not only just across Massachusetts, but across New England as a whole. So the cold is here to stick for this week and as we head into next week as well. So earlier than normal, I'll say. Couple clouds around at times for today. Some of us across the southeast brightening up a little bit more than others across the northwest, but we are going to be dry today. Tomorrow is going to be bright, and as we jump into Tuesday, it's going to be nice and bright as well. I do want to talk about Wednesday night into Thursday. Yes, still tracking chances for snow. The closer to the southeast you are, I'll say, the better your chance for rain in a mix. The farther north and west you are, the better your chance for some snow. So here's Wednesday night. There's early Thursday morning, getting into Thursday afternoon, and then Thursday evening we start to dry out. It's too early to talk about snowfall totals. That's probably not going to happen until we get closer to Tuesday into Wednesday morning. However, this is an Alberta Clipper system. It's a low pressure that comes from over Alberta, Canada. Historically speaking, it typically only brings late snowfall totals. So I don't want you thinking this is going to be a massive storm. I'll warn you, though, the Thursday morning commute is probably going to be a slow one. A little bit breezy this afternoon. After that, the next windy day doesn't come until Thursday night into Friday. But this wind on Friday is actually going to be pretty brutal when you consider the temperature forecast for Friday, which I can show you. Over the next couple days, mid to the upper 30s for highs. There's the rain and snow chance for Wednesday night into Thursday. Tad bit warmer in some spots. That's why a lot of the snow is going to stick to the north and west. But look at Friday, I should say, with a strong wind, highs only 33, lows in the teens. That means it's going to be feeling like the 20s during the warmest part of the day. And Saturday's looking like a really cold one as well. In fact, I'll even go a day farther and tell you that Sunday's looking pretty chilly as well. It's definitely feeling like December. Actually, for a lot of us over the next week, it's probably feeling like closer to January or February. It's feeling really, really cold out there. We are nice and dry for today, but look at these temperatures. Most of us are in the mid to the upper 20s only. And even though most of us only have a light wind, Boston, that's a pretty good wind, sustained wind at 12 miles an hour. Same with Worcester. But look, the feels like temperatures are in the teens and 20s, even with a light wind in a lot of locations. So make sure you dress warmly for today. Temperatures are really going to be sticking in the 30s for most of the day. 10 a.m. 32, 3 o'clock 38, 8 o'clock you're down to 27 degrees. Moving forward, we do have some chances for snow for a lot of us. It's still going to be rain for some, especially across the southeast. That doesn't come till Wednesday into Thursday. More details on that coming up. Temperatures in the 20s out there right now, yes, but it feels like the teens when you factor in even just a light wind. So it's cold. Highs today are going to be in the 30s. With that wind, though, it's going to be feeling like the upper 20s and low 30s during the warmest part of the day. So get ready for that. Not the windiest day ever, but even a slight breeze when temperatures are this cold can make it feel pretty chilly. Speaking of, if you're headed to the Pats game, make sure you bundle up. Even if you're going a little bit early to tailgate, 11 a.m. 33, 1 o'clock start time 36. 4 o'clock, 33 degrees. Once that game gets going, you're not moving around a whole lot. That can feel pretty chilly. Talking about highs elsewhere today. On the cold side, about 10 degrees colder than average, actually. Temperatures mid to the upper 30s for highs for today. And again, a light breeze at times. Tonight, really cold. This does include early tomorrow morning. So if you're headed back to work tomorrow morning, I don't want you to be surprised. Make sure you bundle up. I suggest it all. Hat, gloves, scarf. Upper teens and low 20s for early morning temperatures. Not quite as cold on the Cape, but still, that's a cold morning, no matter what way you look at it. And then highs tomorrow are going to be pretty similar, mid to the upper 30s. Bright, not quite as windy. not quite as breezy, so it may feel slightly warmer tomorrow. If we were to look ahead, we're in the first week of December. This is looking at primarily the second week of December. Look at this, not just Massachusetts, all of New England, you're looking at very likely below average temperatures. Couple of clouds around today in spots, brighter a little bit across the southeast and across the northwest. Generally, we're dry, though. Tomorrow's going to be a bright day. Tuesday's going to be a bright day. Let's talk about what to expect Wednesday night into Thursday. Kind of similar to yesterday, I was telling you this is an Alberta Clipper system. It's a low pressure system that originates from over Alberta, Canada. Historically, it brings us light snowfall totals. I don't think everyone is going to be getting snow. Here's Wednesday night into Thursday. If you're across the southeast, the better your chance for rain or a wintry mix. The farther north and west you are, the better your chance for snow or a wintry mix. So that's going to linger throughout Wednesday night into a lot of Thursday, drying out as we get into Thursday evening. And again, it's too early to talk about snowfall totals, but we'll be watching this as the week goes on. A little bit of a breeze today, and then the next time we actually get breezy conditions is going to be Thursday night into Friday. And that wind on Friday is going to be pretty brutal when you look at the actual temperatures. Mid to the upper 30s till we get there. Wednesday and Thursday warmer in spots, which is why some spots getting a mix and some rain and others are going to be colder and getting the snow. But look, as we get to Thursday and Saturday, highs are in the low 20s. Low 30s, I should say, and the teens in the upper 20s. So with that breeze, though, during the warmest part of the day, it's going to be feeling like the 20s on Friday and Saturday. So that's pretty cold. So prepare yourselves for that as well. It doesn't exactly feel good. It's beautiful out there looking, but it won't be bad as long as you bundle up, but that you're definitely going to need to do so today. I mean, look at these temperatures. These are the actual temperatures. Most of us mid to the upper 20s out there, but even with a light wind for most of us, a little bit breezier right now in spots like Boston and Worcester. Here's what it actually feels like out there. We have feels like temperatures in the teens and 20s. Feels like 21 in Boston. Feels like it's only 14 degrees right now in Worcester. So that's pretty cold. A little bit ahead of schedule for this time of year as well. I know it's December, but still, this is still way colder than average. Highs running about 10 degrees colder than average. 10 a.m. 32, 3 o'clock 38, 8 o'clock you're down to 27 degrees. Going forward, dry over the next couple days. Chances for snow for a lot of us, rain for some as we get into Wednesday and throughout the day on Thursday from an Alberta Clipper system, which is a low pressure system that just originates from over Alberta, Canada. I'll show you what we're expecting for the timing of that and more details on that as well coming up.
It's 8:31.
20s, but yeah, it feels like temperatures in the teens for a lot of us because even with a light wind when temperatures are this cold, you still get a bit of a wind chill. So dress warmly today if you're headed to the Pats game, for example. Foxborough, 11 a.m. 33, 1 o'clock 36 degrees, 4 o'clock 33 degrees. So as you're really settling into the game, not moving around a whole lot, that's going to feel even colder. Elsewhere, highs today are going to be in the mid to the upper 30s, a couple clouds around at some points, but chilly and definitely a little bit breezy. And then tonight, the real cold settles in. This does include early tomorrow morning. So if you're headed back to work tomorrow morning, it's probably going to be a little bit of a shock to the system, just how cold it's been if you've been off the last week and you've kind of been sleeping in a little bit and missing out on those really cold morning temperatures. Upper teens, low 20s, not quite as cold at the Cape, but that's, you know, winter coat, gloves, hat type of weather we're talking about. Not so much in the afternoon. Into the upper 30s is certainly a lot more tolerable, and tomorrow is going to be nice and bright. This week is going to be cold, but if we actually look farther ahead into the second week of December, here's the temperature outlook. So this is the trend that we're going to see during that time period. And you can see a lot of New England, all of New England is actually going to be very likely below average. So temperatures are really going to tumble, which is early for this time of year. Yes, we're cold in December, but we're even colder than average. So as I mentioned, a couple clouds around at points today. Southeast brightening up a little bit later this afternoon. Some of us stay with the clouds. Tonight we're going to be clear. Tomorrow is going to be a bright day. And as we jump into Tuesday, we're still looking at the sunny days as well, even though that's not going to help us warm up a whole lot. It's still going to be cold. Talking about Wednesday night into Thursday, some of us, especially the farther south and east you are, looking at rain or a mix. And then if you're farther north and west, you're looking at better chances for snow. Maybe a little bit of a mix, but here's Wednesday night. Snow is the light purple, white color. Rain's the green, and the pink is that wintry mix. That really settles in as we get to Wednesday night into Thursday morning. You can see north and west snow. South and east you have the rain. In between you have a little bit of a winter mix going on. That'll continue for a lot of Thursday, and then we start to dry out till we get to Thursday night. This is an Alberta Clipper system. That's just an area of low pressure that comes from Alberta, Canada. Historically speaking, it typically brings light snowfall totals, a couple inches in some spots. Too early to say exactly what's going to happen this week, who's going to see snow, who's going to see rain, but I just want to put it on your radar and show you. A little bit breezy this afternoon. The next real wind is actually going to come Thursday night and into the day on Friday, which is going to be a little bit brutal when you look at the high temperature forecast for Friday. Until then, high temperatures mid to the upper 30s. There's that chance for rain and snow Wednesday night into the day on Thursday. You can see some of us a little bit warmer, which is why some of you getting mix and rain. And then if you're farther northwest where you're colder, you're getting in on the snow. But Friday and Saturday, look at that. Low 30s, upper teens for lows Friday morning. With that breeze, though, that's going to be feeling like the 20s during the warmest part of the day.